is what I'm going to call it. And it did come
Mhm.
early. So you're saying, hey, everybody, this is, if you're just showing up, of course you're just showing up because we're just starting. Hey, everybody, I'm Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude, and this is the live stream section of Comedeorological Report recordings at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Frankie shows up, and then we will hit record for what will be our television segment. And just keep in mind that this is really small time stuff we're doing here. I think sometimes people get under the impression that I'm trying to be something bigger than I am. No, not really. No, that's not the case at all. So that's the good news for our small audience. I'm just setting up the live stream here. So Hilding, you've been getting lots of rain. This is Hilding Donaldson. He's here out in Grassy Plains, British Columbia. That's not too far from where I live, out in sort of the western side of BC. And Hilding's a farmer, if you're fresh to the show. And you've been getting some rain.
Yeah, we've been having enough rain that the grass actually grew probably about 4 times as much as it has this time last year. So yeah, I figure we have 8 times more rain than we had last year in the month of May.
Yeah, I believe that. Somebody in Weather Watchers, they were pointing out that the measurement for Quesnel rain was in May so far, like the most Quesnel seen since 2021, I believe it was, or 2020, most rain in a month. So that's
Mhm.
promising. That's promising, and I was
Well,
like
I
the
mean,
one guy.
considering we had zero rainfall until June 10th last year, from April 16th until June 10th, there was zero rain in this area last year.
I'm just setting up, try to make it so that people know what we're doing here. I'll show you. Now, here we are. This is me on Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. This is the group I run on Facebook. For people who don't know, it's like everything I do, pretty much not for profit. Karen Richards is showing up, and she's one of the moderators of the group. Like everything, this is small time stuff. This is put it. So someone was. I don't consider myself media. This is more in the realm of community discussion and organizing, right? Because certainly there's no goal to be anything more than we are in that regard, right? We're live. Come in and ask questions in the chat. Frankie McDonald will be here at 7 p.m. with the worldwide weather. We got atmospheric river talk on the agenda. Hello, Karen.
Hello.
We got atmospheric river talk on the agenda. So, see you there. How's that? I gotta do the old share the link around, right? Otherwise, the 20 people who watch the show won't watch it. And, and those 20 people are important. That's what we're here for. I used to say with the band that, we're here for the show, the crowd who comes, right? So that's kind of always been my spirit about things, really. And I just want to make sure everyone's got the link for the show. I mean, play for who comes, because if you get there as a band and you're trying to think about the fact that there's only 10 people or 20 or 30 or whatever, or what you're doing is you're punishing the people who came by having a bad attitude because you're concerned about who didn't come. You know what I'm saying? So that's us. But anyways, I do have this Patreon. If anybody out there, I'm trying to get a few more people to chip in every month, and I'm putting footage up that I will put on my YouTube release or re-release on my YouTube. So one, I've taken a bunch of footage from last year and just put it into one video, and added music and made it cool so that it would be something interesting to sort of watch. Rainfall warning. So you've been getting rainfall. Hilding got rainfall. During the show, we'll get you to talk about it, Karen. How much rain you've been getting up by Prince George there.
I have web feet. That's how much rain we've been getting.
It sure was a nice change today, eh?
Well, no, it actually wasn't. It was horrible today.
You got rained on today? What's going on out there today?
We got rained on. It's been like nothing but wind. Seriously, I'm in a wool sweater and a heavy Mac jacket. I am freaking freezing. My plants are
Interesting.
dying.
That's it. Somebody said to me, you make sure you cover your tomatoes and things like that. I think maybe Sage Birchwater was kind of joking when he said it, I mean, cover your tomatoes and cover this, cover that. And I said, I don't waste my time killing plants by trying to grow them here.
And you know what, Joey? That is where I am at here right now. I'm done.
If you can imagine, Wells is just that much worse, man. Thunderstorms in Regina right now. That's what's going on. But what we want to see is what's going on in British Columbia. Where's this rain you're getting right now? Doesn't look so bad.
Well, we have none now.
Okay.
You know what? Give it 5 minutes. I don't care what the radar says. Give it 5 minutes. I'm going to have a downpour and I'll be leaving to save my plants again.
Well, I don't think 5 minutes. No, probably not 5 minutes. Doesn't look like. I do care what the radar says. It doesn't say 5 minutes. That's the driest radar scan we've seen in British Columbia in some time.
Actually, I have to admit it's not too bad tonight. The last few nights have been horrid, but tonight is actually not too bad. It's just windy. It won't stop. It's so cold.
Oh, it's nice and calm here in the mountain. It's finally not raining. And yeah, like you said, it was coming down in torrential buckets for days. My house has been just leaking water like crazy. Hey, Brandon, how good to see you, buddy.
Good evening. Yeah.
What's going on in your section today?
Oh, we've had a thunderstorm today. We had another downpour. It was a fun day.
Some of this stuff here kind of went by you.
Oh yeah, it cruised through. I was at one shop and just got big downpour, very close range lightning. That was fun.
You didn't have the hailstorms like Michael was showing from the States, though, huh?
No, oh, we had a little bit of small hail, but nothing too significant. So
what's up with that? The football-sized hail.
football. Oh yeah, that was in Texas today. That was a big storm. That produced a tornado and softball-sized hail. So
Those are really big hailstones, man.
Oh yeah, big hailstones.
Tornado warning going on in Louisiana right now.
Yep. Don't think there's any big hail in that one. That one doesn't look like a hail.
No, it looks pretty quiet in there, doesn't it?
It's definitely maybe QLS tornadoes, quasi-linear kind of stuff there. Big wind though. I think the wind's gonna be the bigger. Wind gusts of 80 miles per hour. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
80-mile-an-hour winds. That would be 130. Yeah, about that. 130 kilometers an hour.
Some of this white in here, eh?
Oh yeah.
All on the leading edge. Look at that. That is quite the whoosh.
Yep. Goes from calm to 130k winds.
Okay, I just had to take a look where the radar was. There you go. So that radar's down here somewhere. And these guys rushing in, these ones rushing like so.
Oh yeah.
And bam-o! All on that line. Yeah, so much rain, man. It was bad this week. There's more coming.
Yep, there is. Yeah, making up for all the lack of snow this winter.
Well, I told people,
Good old
and
La
I told
Nina.
them, I told them, and they're like, "Well, La Nina's not here yet." It's like it doesn't matter. This is what the transition looks like in BC. You know, um, that doesn't necessarily mean we get totally off the hook this year. I mean,
No,
I
but
mean, you look at 2021,
yeah,
and
2021, yeah.
people regard it as a very bad fire year. And as I've said before in the show here, like, for the most part in 2021, um, you come into middle of June and it was raining a lot in the BC interior.
Yep.
Large, high precipitation thunderstorms coming through nonstop. I think Wells took an immense amount of rain during that time. And then we had the heat dome, and
Yeah.
it counteracted things temporarily. Fires lit up everywhere, and of course, the fires that did burn were catastrophic ones for sure. So people have, scarring memory of that. But
Yeah.
if you objectively look at the month of July and fire behavior in a lot of BC, it wasn't that crazy. We had a lot of down weather, particularly as you got to the central interior and north.
Yeah.
Fires
And
we were on were dead through most of July, taking
in
rain.
21, we got more than enough hay, but we had to wrap it up in silage bales because it was too wet to make.
Right, yeah. Yeah, exactly right.
And now the last 2 summers, we've had hardly enough hay, and everybody's saying it's drought. I mean, it's not that many years of drought we've had.
No, it's just that BC, it's ecologically, it's a province that takes water, and it's like the dry areas of BC are getting drier and hotter, and
Yeah.
those grasslands are moving further north. That's what's happening. It's what's happening. Okay, check this out. Low pressure mania. There you go. Check this out. So they're talking atmospheric river, Brandon.
Yes. Yeah, looking at some big time moisture for the weekend into next week there, for BC especially, and then we might get westerly flow here in Alberta, and I'd say we have a pretty good shot of rain early next week as well. Of course, because it's rodeo week around here. It always rains on rodeo week here. Always. Some sort of significant rain event. It just doesn't fail. Because June, typically in Alberta, is the rainiest month of the year. And it's going to prove it next week. Oh, yes. Of course.
And that's the same for the BC interior generally too, right?
Yeah. June's always the wettest. The wettest of them all. And then it dries right out.
Look at some of these, eh?
Oh, yeah. Big
Right,
monster supercells.
That's not looking good.
That is crazy looking. I'm just going to go to the 12-hour for a second and have a look. Watch all of it play out. Try to get a better idea of the flow of things.
Oh, yeah.
Soon it's really taking its time.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Hey, here we go. So that line's been going all day.
All day long. Flow right out of the north there. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a little bit of wildfire smoke here this evening. So I know exactly where that came from.
A little bit of wildfire smoke, eh? I did notice that they were saying, wow, look at those pop up.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Monster supercells.
I did notice that there is some smoke advisories up in northern Alberta the last couple of days, and I guess that's mostly for the Northwest Territories.
Yeah, right around Northwest Territories. There isn't any advisories right now, but so our air quality is not too bad. But yeah, that cold front just, it was all clear a couple hours ago, and then that front came through, brought the thunderstorm that rattled the place, and then that cleared out quickly, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you got this little bit of smoky hazy sky roll in. So definitely came in from the north. So I get these messages all the time. Where's the smoke coming from? Where's this? Is it a local fire? No, it's not a local fire. If you can smell it, it smells like wood, cedar kind of. You get that. Yeah, you get it's a different kind of smell. It's not definitely not like a grass fire or anything like that out in the open prairies. So
It must be quite a flow, up above, because look at how the
yeah.
overshooting top of these storms is just
Oh yeah.
dragged way out. I mean, that's a
The anvil
crazy.
extends, yeah.
That
I've
anvil's
seen
like
storms look like that in Alberta. Oh yeah,
for
there.
sure, right? But just
Cool.
that's so beautiful. That's a long ways from San Antonio to where this
Yeah.
storm actually is. Is somewhere in here. You can see where the little bubbles are. That's the convective. That's
Yep.
where the
Right on the
convection's
Mexico
happening.
border there. That's where the storm's at. And then
Same thing here. You can see where the convection's at. You can see where the
yeah.
storm itself is at.
Oh, this one's a little further in. Yeah, that's where all the lightning's at. It's a little further in. So that might be a different cell popping up on the outside. Yeah, looks like a new cell developing there. So
Yeah, totally, eh?
and then
Trying.
yep, new storm
I,
there. But the
there
main
you go.
storm
There's
there,
your.
so they'll probably take all its energy away or eventually starts to intensify a little bit. Oh yeah. And I think the only weather alert in Western Canada is a rainfall warning in northern Saskatchewan. Yes, it is.
Yeah, 40, 60 mils, eh?
Yeah. And a pile of frost advisories out east.
Wowzers. That was one thing I really, Ontario can be like that a little bit sometimes off the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
But I know when I was down in Texas and some of the few times I've been in the United States, some of the thunderstorms, the amount of lightning they put off was just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I've seen that on the prairies a couple times. I think it was the year 2021 where we had a storm out here and the lightning was just non-stop. It was a disco party, kind of like what you see on the screen there, just non-stop. And I actually was able to get a selfie with lightning with my phone. That was, you can't, it's pretty hard to do that.
Well, there's just so much lightning you can't miss.
You can't miss any. Yeah, it was just
I mean,
ongoing.
this isn't even that crazy, right? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And I think last week sometime I looked at I don't remember what day it was, 4 or 5, maybe 6 days ago, I don't know. But there was one moment in the afternoon where I looked at lightning detector app, and basically you could count 15,000 lightning strikes within 10 minutes in North America, right? So
Yeah.
it was just going off, so it'd be a line like this would be like,
Mhm.
it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if we stay with this pattern here in the prairies, we'll probably get a few more of those storms here this year. That'll be good.
Well, while we're looking at that, let's see what is burning up there today. What time we got? We got 10 minutes still till Frankie gets here.
10 minutes. Yep.
So not a whole lot going on in northern British Columbia. I mean, you can see there's a little bit of activity.
Oh yeah. Couple up northern Alberta, Northwest Territories.
Port Nelson isn't burning up anymore, huh?
No, well they
We got
had,
fires around, but yeah, they're got it held under control. Looks like.
Here we are. So as you can see, there's still activity on that north fire. And that's the one I'm kind of concerned that if we get some hot weather and some dry weather for any length of time and some wind, there's a lot of fuel between here and there. But, there's some waterways and some swampy areas too, it looks like. But there's a lot of fuel between there and Fort Nelson. So, obviously, there's no activity at all to be seen on that Parker Lake fire. That's great, at least not today. Go back 3 days, have a look. Nothing. A little more activity than that northern guy. Quite a bit on the Donny. Weather is kind of subdued today, I think, is part of it. So yeah, that guy, he was pretty active this week for a while. But yeah, all in all, we're looking pretty good. Really. We're looking pretty good compared to a couple weeks ago. Fire activity's down, weather's down, precipitation's up. We've had snow in most quadrants of high country in BC at one point or another in the last week or so. Right? So I think we're looking pretty good. I mean, my bank isn't. But that's the firefighter gamble. So I chose the life. I could get a real job if I wanted. But I don't want. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys got to talk about this week? What do we got for the show? We got a few minutes here till Frankie comes on.
Well, I'll bring back the game of pain tonight, maybe sometime later in the show.
Hey, Josh Palmer's crazy and deviant tornado and high precipitation supercell in Midland today. Beautiful. Strong, moist inflow. The reason there's all the lightning. Very strong, robust supercells. High echo tops. Lots of energy to be stored. Yes. Well put. I love it. What were you saying, Brandon? Sorry, I cut you off, man.
Oh, might bring some little bit of the game I played a couple weeks ago,
Right, the game of death.
Right. Or game of joy, I don't know.
Brandon's game of death.
That's right.
For who makes the poorest sound effect
That's right.
must die.
Well, imagine, yeah. But yeah, I got two. It's gonna be a little different than last time, so.
I forget, it's the game of fear, was it? The game of.
Well, I kind of changed the name of it, but I like. I can make a game of fear. I don't know. That sounds scary. Or
game of death is pretty good.
Or game of death, something like that.
Just because that people are like, ooh, the game of death.
That's right.
We'd be really serious about
great
it.
Radio with it. That's what we do because people use their sound effects.
If you lose, you must commit seppuku. Seppuku. Karen, you got some rain to talk about this week, Prince George, and
I do, yeah. I got a little bit of rain to talk about. It's not been pretty. It's not been nice. It's been pretty nasty.
Do it. Go on. When we do, go on about the plants. Go on about really talk up how fucking bad it's been.
Yeah, I will. I've been actually kind of rehearsing it about how fucking bad it's been.
It's like, and that's the thing about Canada is that you just cannot win, right?
I can't win. I cannot win up here this year at all.
You can't go anywhere. Maybe Southern Alberta.
Yeah.
That's like the best.
No,
weather.
not even. Like I have a good friend in Calgary and they've been dealing with the same thing.
I didn't say
Every time
Calgary.
he turns around. Well, that's pretty much Southern Alberta, though. It's pretty close.
Well,
It is
Southern
part of
Alberta,
Southern Alberta. However, in Southern Alberta, our little cells like to go. They don't like to hit every place at once. So, for example, today, my house did not get a downpour of rain today. However, areas 9 kilometers away from me got a significant downpour. So it's all
okay. You know what? You are right. Where are you?
In beautiful Brooks, Alberta. Oh, yes.
Brooks. Okay. Yeah. So my good friend is in Calgary.
And elevation's the key there. Oh, yeah.
When I think Southern Alberta, I think, Brooks is kind of like the northern tip of where Southern Alberta should be in my mind, like Nanton's kind of the northern tip of where, because once you get to Calgary, you're in something different. Something different's going on there. So, you know what I'm saying, right? It's like that's foothills in Calgary. It's, and you're almost
Oh, yeah, it's elevation. 'Cause
And
I
and
know.
really, I remember being in Alberta when I lived there, and the I was watching the weather on the news at night on CTV or whatever in Calgary, and it's like uh, Pincher Creek minus or +3, and I was like Nanton +1. And I was like, yeah, it's not so bad here. And I was like Calgary -3, and I was like, ooh. And then it's like Red Deer -5, Leduc -10, Edmonton -18. And I was like, wow.
And meanwhile, it's 16 degrees in Brooks.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's
Southern Alberta's not bad actually. Like, it's dry climate. It
Well, I
gets
have to
windy.
say today, sorry to interrupt you, Joey, but my son messaged me and he lives in now Liverpool, England.
oh yeah.
So he messaged me today. He's like, "Oh my God, Mom, it was so cold." I'm like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "It was like 4 degrees here this morning." He's like, "Oh, okay, well, it was 11 here." I'm like, "Really,
Yeah.
dude? Like, come on." Like, and I mean, like they're getting some nasty weather too. But when he
Yeah.
messaged me that, I'm like, okay, it was 4 degrees here, and you're complaining about 11 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning, your time. Come on.
In the group chat, Gamma saying her grandson just got accepted to Rattler's unit crew, which is down there in Lytton, British Columbia. That's totally awesome. Totally jealous. If I could restart my life again as a young man, that's what I would do. And instead of playing all this, instead of all those years of rock and roll and drinking and fun and all the girls and traveling across Canada playing rock and roll, and if I had to do it again, I wouldn't take any of that awesome stuff. I would totally be a career firefighter. I don't know how to put it that way. So I got to do a little bit of both, I guess. Do a little bit of both. But congratulations. No, I do. I'm 45 years old, and I think all the time, like, I wish I hadn't started firefighting when I was in my late 30s, because I love it. That's all I want to do. And congratulations to him.
My cousin was in their earlier years, part of the initial rappel attacks
The rap
with
attack.
my friend. Rap attack. Yeah, I'd have to dig them out, send you some pictures of them in the early days.
That's pretty cool, rappelling out of a helicopter.
Yeah, you know what? And yeah, they talk so fondly of it, but so it was such a different experience for them too at the same time. But the people they met and the groups they were with was amazing.
There's like very few people who spend a great deal of time working for the wildfire ministry have bad things to say, like they're a really good employer.
Yeah.
Really fair. And it's like there's not many jobs where cool Imogen's here. Even we got everybody. Frankie's here. There's not many jobs where someone's trying to think of everything they can to make sure that they're doing the best they can to be right, to do it right. So okay, Frankie, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you again. I'm doing great so far.
Okay, I'm gonna hit record if you're ready, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Hello, Prince George. Hello, Winnipeg and Kamloops and television watchers on Vancouver Island on Rogers TV. Thank you for watching us on your cable access. Thank you for listening to us on your college and university radio stations. That's where we belong. That's where we want to be. We love doing this, and we're doing it for you. So if you are listening, thank you for tuning in. I'm Joey Only, your Caribou weather dude up here in Wells, British Columbia, with my panel of Comedeorologists. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. It's the show about how much the weather sucks. And it's really sucked this week, man. Holy cow. We'll complain all about it. Just wait. We will indeed. So you've been listening to us on C for 88.7 FM, CKUW 95.9 in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 Kamloops. This is the show. I got on the panel tonight. We haven't seen her in a while, but our associate producer, Imogen Bailey's back. Good to see her. We got Brandon Hauk, my beloved co-host. He's here once again, the radio man from Brooks, Alberta. We got from Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, one of the moderators of our Facebook group that we run, Karen Richards up there. Prince George, who's been getting rained on this week, and so is Hilding Donaldson out there in Grassy Plains. He's not complaining about all the rain because he's about to get a hay crop off this year. I do think Michael McGregor's showing up from Winnipeg as well. So we got a full docket of everybody here. But first, we're going to talk about the world weather with you, Frankie. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far, buddy? Who's got
I'm
the
doing
worst
great so
weather
far.
in
A
the
lot of
world?
severe weather and thunderstorms going on in Manitoba with lots of wind and rain in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, in North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas with severe thunderstorms all across central states as well. Then you got more severe weather in Dallas on Friday coming up. It's going to head towards Louisiana and places like this. Then you got rain hitting for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Sunday night. Lots of rain hitting for Sydney, Nova Scotia Sunday night and the Monday. And all across eastern United States in America, they got cold air next, heading towards eastern United States in America. Then they got some more rain in Vancouver, British Columbia next week. And those places, California is drier than normal. Right now, it's really hot in Arizona. That's where Gary and Dino is at.
I like those guys, Gary and Dino.
It's really hot there where Gary and Dino's at in Scottsdale, Arizona. Then Gary and Dino got a Springbrook event coming up on June 22nd. Lots of rain in the forecast all across central states and Vancouver, British Columbia, all those places as well. This week and the next week as well. And weather all across South America. Like Venezuela and those places. Lots of rain going on in Caracas, lots of rain and thunderstorms in Venezuela, Colombia, parts of northern Ecuador. It's drier than normal. Peru right now. And far north than Brazil. They're in the rainy season now. Says Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, and all those places. And Island St. Martin. They're in the rainy season now. Lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in all across. They're in the rainy season now in Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Nigeria, Honduras, and Panama. Those places. In Brazil's Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's in the dry season now. It's really, really dry in Bolivia too, and Peru. And northern Chile is really dry now. Then it gets lots of rain in southern Chile and snow up in the mountains in southern Chile as of right now. Weather all across Europe and lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in northern Italy and Switzerland, those places, and snow up in the mountains. Then you got the thunderstorms and rain in France and it's really cooler. And it's weather is cooler in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. As of right now, it's really hot in Morocco right now, in Libya and Algeria and all those places. It's really hot in Gibraltar, Spain, Portugal. Those places right now. It's really hot in Bosnia. Rain and showers and thunderstorms and forecast in Croatia, Bosnia, and all those places. In Albania, parts of Greece, it's drier than normal. It's drier than normal with a chance of showers in Turkey next week. It's really, really warm up. It's getting warmer up in Norway, but cooler up. And then it got cold weather even towards Norway next week. And it got rain coming behind that, followed by rain in Norway, Finland, Sweden. And lots of thunderstorms, rain in Belarus and Moscow, Russia, those places right now. And weather all across Japan. There's a lot of storms coming off the coast of Japan right now. Like Tokyo, Japan, Kyoto, Japan, Osaka, Japan, and lots of thunderstorms, rain going on in China, and Hong Kong, and Taiwan right now. Mongolia is getting hotter right now. Siberia is going to get really hot weather in June and July and August. Like Yakutsk and Norilsk and Magadan and Oymyakon, Russia is going to get extremely hot weather in the summertime. And lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Vietnam and Laos and Cambodia and Philippines and Singapore and Malaysia right now. A lot of rain and thunderstorms going on in Bangladesh and Myanmar and all those places as well. It's extremely hot in India. Temperatures above 50 degrees Celsius there.
I saw that. 52, all-time record.
It was mighty hot there. And lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in southern India during the monsoon season. Then the monsoon season is going to work its way to Delhi, India by July. And lots of rain and thunder. It's really, really hot in Dubai right now. Dubai had man-made rain earlier.
Oh, they threw some silver nitrate up in the air, did they?
The rain is man-made in Dubai.
Yeah, well, the silver nitrate thing only works if it's a cold cloud, right? If it's a warm cloud, you need so that I'm still skeptical on how much man-made rain. What about Antarctica, Frankie?
And I never did Africa forecast for yet this week. It's really,
Okay.
really hot in Egypt and Saudi Arabia and all those places, and up around Nigeria and those places right now. Lots of rain, thunderstorms going on again in Nigeria and all those places right now. And there's a lot of rain in Africa, west coast of Africa right now, in thunderstorms. It's going to bring a whole lot of sand coming off of northwestern Africa at this time of the year. In July, it's going to bring so much sand. Egypt will be in stormy time of the year. And then it got some cold weather in for South Africa. And a lot of rain in the forecast in South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa, and Johannesburg, South Africa. They're getting lots of rain in the forecast. And warm and Mozambique is drier than normal, Botswana is drier than normal, and Namibia and Angola, including Tanzania and Madagascar, is entering the dry season. Those showers in the forecast zones around La Reunion and Mauritius Islands, and weather all across Australia and New Zealand. As for Perth, Australia, lots of showers in the forecast of Perth, Australia. There's a lot of rain and cold temperatures in Sydney, Australia. Right now, we got cold temperatures heading towards north and southeast western Australia late next week as well. Weather for New Zealand, lots of rain in eastern Australia. And it's going to bring hot weather, cold weather in New Zealand with lots of rain and forecasting. South Island, New Zealand, got dry and wet fighting each other in New Zealand. As for Antarctica, it's 24-hour darkness right now. And where Mike Post is at, it's 24-hour darkness where Mike Post is at. And Brady B. Jordan, those two guys in Antarctica, they're in a dark 24-hour darkness right now. Up in the Arctic or up in Cookatook, Nunavut. Olivier, say hi to you. It's 24-hour daylight in Cookatook right now.
Hey, hi, Olivier. I missed that guy. Hope he comes back on the show sooner than later. Frankie, before we open the panel to ask you questions, I couldn't help but notice you have a Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan shirt. I've been to Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. How did you come across a Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan shirt?
Somebody gave that to me.
Yeah, it's north. It's not like if you go to Highway 16, it's still like the next. It's closer to Cold Lake,
Yes.
further north. Yeah, so Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. I like it. Okay, panelists. Anyone got questions for Frankie McDonald this week?
And guess what? Monica's back on Facebook.
Yes. Tell Monica we'd love to see her come back on the show sometime.
Yeah.
Who on the panel has a question for Francis McDonald Jr.? Mike McGregor out in Winnipeg, you got a question for Frankie?
Yeah, any crazy weather coming out your way? Any hurricanes yet?
No hurricanes yet, no typhoons in Japan.
No hurricanes, no typhoons. Any other questions for Frankie?
I got one for Frankie.
Karen Richards.
What's it going to be like up here in northern BC, Prince George and above?
Hey, Frankie.
And it means it's going to be so much sandstorms in June and July and early August in Egypt and Libya and all those places. Drive all the sand all across Africa.
What about Prince George coming up, Frankie? What do you got for
a lot
them?
of rain next week in Vancouver.
Yeah, all BC is going to be getting pretty wet. I think Chris Calais is going to be coming on in a little while, and he's going to be talking about the atmospheric river. So we do have an atmospheric river. Something you usually expect to hear in November kind of thing or February, but no, we got a mild atmospheric river event coming, it sounds like, to the West Coast. If there's no other questions for Frankie.
And did you hear about this? It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in India in July and August.
I didn't hear about that.
There will be their monsoon season.
Monsoon season coming to India. This just in. Okay,
India had a dangerous heat wave.
They did. 52 degrees. Would you say they had the worst weather in the world, Frankie?
Somewhere in Japan, lots of rain coming off the coast of Japan.
Even worse than 52 degrees? I can't think of anything worse than 52 degrees. Personally.
Lots of severe weather and lots of thunderstorms and hail going on in China. Even Russia's getting hail near Korea backing off its hometown.
We'll be back with Frankie McDonald in just a little while because we got fresh Frankie McDonald videos from this week to watch and review. That's Frankie McDonald's segment. Brandon Hauk Report.
Woo!
Hey, Brandon Hauk, out there in Brooks, Alberta. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing wonderful. Get ready for a very busy start to June, and it is going to get very busy for myself here in the month of June. So it's going to be fun. Event after event after event is what we're going to. Oh, by the way, the Brooks Bandits are going to be playing in the Rocky Mountain Cup this weekend, taking on the Surrey Eagles. And I have a feeling we might win this. Maybe. We'll see. Surrey's pretty good. Yeah. That's where Mark Ingles is going. Yes.
Alberta team is going to win the BC championship. That was a great idea, letting Brooks into the BC Hockey League.
And I love how they call it the Rocky Mountain Challenge, and they're hosting it in Brooks this weekend. It's pretty. I thought that was kind of funny. We don't have any mountains, you know.
Not even like a little, like, you know, by
Well,
Lake
we got a
Bugle.
couple hills around, you know, just
You
a
know,
few. We got the rolling hills, but we don't have the rock
don't you have
mountain.
three hills somewhere?
We got a couple hills where you could toboggan down, and then, yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So you've been in thunderstorm
You don't
heaven this
have
week,
Rocky
haven't you?
Mountain, You've got a gravel parking lot. That's all.
Yeah,
You've got a
the
gravel parking lot.
Of course, yes. Big old
Yep.
gravel pit. By the way, I'd say the landfill is probably the biggest hill around here.
In the group chat, Andrew's been asking Frankie to be a drunk gorilla eating raspberry pies. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Frankie. So, Brad, you've been in thunderstorm heaven this week. Give us a rundown.
And before I get to that, Chris Calais there in the lounge group there said Joey should have named this episode "The Drizzle Before the Sizzle, Full Shizzle."
That is pretty good. The drizzle before the sizzle for shizzle.
Yes, I thought that was really good.
Well, we might just make the official name of that.
I think we should. Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Now, yes, as you mentioned, Brandon Hauk, thunderstorm heaven for the last week. This past week, we've had a lot of storms. Which one should I start off with? One on Saturday? Yeah, I should. So last Saturday, I believe. Yep. Last Saturday, I was basically surrounded by two thunderstorms. One over here, it was rumbling. It did not want to stop rumbling, and that was awesome. And then I got another one to my north, and that was those two storms putting off the lightning. We had the thunder as well, and pretty good burst of rain here and there. And then, then the other day we had our first severe thunderstorm of the season. That's right, first severe one. And areas to the south of us had wind gusts of 100 kilometers an hour with that storm that rolled its way through the prairie. And this storm was lacking some moisture, but still packed a bit of a punch, impressive lightning, a little bit of a meso cyclonic there. So it was awesome. It was awesome storm. And it was moving at 50 kilometers an hour. So as fast as it rolled in, it moved out very quickly as well, so it didn't drop a lot of rain. I think we got like maybe a millimeter of rain with that storm alone the other day. And then today,
it was moving faster than the rain could fall.
Moving faster than the rain could fall. That's right.
We can't move the Rip Fest to July 32nd because there's no such thing as July 32nd. That means the Rip Fest is on July 12th, 13th, 14th of this year.
Yeah, that's right. We got wrong information a few weeks ago. We heard that Ribfest was on July 36th in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
It's on July 12th, 13th to 14th.
You know what? I'd go for a 36 days in July. July is one of my favorite months, so
I would too. And
I would go too, but
36 days of eating ribs too, man.
I would too, but with the heat in Manitoba, it's unbearable hot. So as long as there's like places to go, like festivals, Red River X, those things.
Oh yeah. Well, what I'm doing in the next couple of weeks, actually, before I talk about today's thunderstorm, so next couple of weeks, I got pancake breakfast. Not only that, but we're hosting our first block party of the year on the 13th of June. And then on the 14th and the 15th, I'm going to be judging Smoker Wars. So this is going to be all the ribs, and there's going to be at least 30 to 40 teams of ribs to judge. That
I think they picked the wrong guy, man. No offense, but
they picked the wrong guy.
I've seen you in an eating competition now.
Oh yes, that
fail
one.
miserably.
That's right, and that actually ended up on the jumbotron at the Brooks Bandits game too. So that's even more embarrassing.
How are you going to eat 36 entries worth of ribs when you couldn't get through 3 hamburgers?
Luckily, this time it's not a race, so I'm able to take my time on these 36 things of ribs. So I'm not eating them in 3 minutes. Try to eat as many in 3 minutes.
Wait, so you're eating 36 ribs in an hour or 2 hours?
A couple hours at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to take a few hours.
It reminds me of that scene from Great Outdoors where that guy ate an entire pound of steak.
Yeah. It was more than a pound. Okay, so that's what you were saying, Brandon. We move along. We got lots of people to get through.
So yeah, then we've got our thunderstorm today that developed quite rapidly, actually. And we had a couple showers. It's kind of cool, kind of gray, a little cold. And then the sun poked out, and then all of a sudden, these convective cells started to gather together. And then next thing you know, boom! Storm rolled in. I was actually at another facility, and the rain just came down in buckets. We had some pea-sized hail. I was actually almost caught outside in that. And then the lightning was about 1 kilometer away, and it just shook and rattled the building. And that was awesome. And now we've got a little bit of that northern BC, northern Alberta wildfire smoke that's rolled in afterwards. But other than that, that's about it there. Now, I do have a couple of awesome stories to share with you again today, because there's always some awesome stories for the week. And I'm going to start off with crows can actually count out loud. So that's pretty impressive. And then Home Alone house is for sale again. And a man in Japan finds 8-leaf clover. And then
near Fukushima or where?
Somewhere in northern Japan there. And then pancake syrup made a typo. That's right, a syrup. A syrup bottle. So instead of saying, it was supposed to say keep away from heat, it said keep away from tractors. So that was quite a typo on a maple syrup bottle, keeping it away from tractors. And then finally, man who's turning 100 years old and a woman who turned 102 in Pennsylvania got married at a retirement home, likely officiated by the Grim Reaper. And that's
they're like,
what I got.
We waited this long. We might as well ruin our lives now.
And that's the Brandon Houck Report.
That's the Brandon Houck Report.
My grandma just turned 106 the other day, so I guess my aunt's probably my aunt's probably beat her in terms of age.
So Frankie, are you putting a cow in a hot air balloon, Frankie? Is that what you're doing?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
There's no eclipse in 2025. The next solar eclipse will be August 2044 in Calgary.
That's right. Okay, so we got Chris Calais just showing up here. We haven't seen Imogen around for a little while. We haven't talked to Karen in quite a long time either. But I know Chris is tight for time, and I know because he's got family over. So we got down there in the United States, meteorologist Chris Calais. And of course, because you're a meteorologist, we have to ask you about Donald Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, 34 counts, all guilty. Pretty wild. We were watching it in the office. Told my boss to turn it on, and I think there's quite a bit of applause in the office. So good.
I can imagine meteorologists everywhere are watching that while tornadoes are touching down on the radars behind them. And
yeah, so it's a good day down here, but unfortunately, the way the U.S. is, he will probably get reelected. So we'll see how it goes. So
What a crazy story. What a crazy country you have, man, where a guy can be the most
Same
powerful
with the
person in the
president of
country,
Brazil. And
but he can't.
Trump is not the only one, but president of Brazil is another one of them.
Yeah, Bolsonaro, he sucks. Yeah, totally. So, um, yeah, it's just crazy. He's sleeping around with porn stars and pretending he's selling Bibles. That's awesome. But it's good to see you, man. And you are
Yeah.
proof that your existence is proof that there's great things in America. Talk to us about West Coast weather, Chris.
All right. Yeah. So like, as we've discussed, we have a pretty good atmospheric river. I mean, like a level 1, level 2, but still for June, it's quite anomalous. It's going to actually impact as far south as Northern California towards late Saturday into Sunday, and things are going to shift north as that ridge kind of starts to build over the western U.S. It's going to shift that atmospheric river closer to Vancouver Island into perhaps as north as like the central BC coast, Bella Coola area. I don't think there'll be crazy precip totals. We're looking at maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of I don't know, around 50 millimeters in Portland. Potentially, I can see spots on Vancouver Island getting up closer to like Tofino, getting up closer to maybe 100 to 150 millimeters. We dry out pretty quick after that, after we get out of the 1 to 5 day period. So as we roll into like the middle of next week, we'll be in a pretty good drying trend. Heat builds into the U.S. portion of the Northwest initially. Then potentially into BC as we get about 10 days from now. So like towards June 9th or so.
What scares me about this was 10 days ago, we were looking at this day right now, thinking the same thing.
True. But we have there's a decent amount of model agreement. So, I mean, definitely at my work, like we're hedging towards some heat in the Northwest and we don't do a whole lot with BC, but in Alberta, at least, over the next 15 days or so. So, market's kind of moving that direction. We'll see if it comes to fruition, but it looks like a pretty good heat signal. Only the GFS operational is kind of out in left field with some cooler troughing over BC and over the Northwest in the longer range. But if it does come to fruition, I wouldn't think it'd be crazy hot. Maybe 25 or so in Prince George and potentially 30 to 35 in like southern BC interior, Okanagan area, and then maybe closer to 35 or down in our neck of the woods. But yeah, I mean, kind of early June, little heat. May kind of drift east, or probably more likely, I think we get a stronger jet that impinges on Western Canada as we get into mid-June, and that'll drive a cooler pattern as we get to mid-month. That's kind of what I'm thinking, and more precip. So
I think that's sounds like a recipe for thunderstorms in the BC interior.
Yeah, I think there's a risk, especially as that ridge breaks down, that we'll see some thunder risk, especially into southern BC, potentially on the spine of the Rockies and some of those, caribou as well. But with the precip we're getting in the 1 to 5, I think honestly it shouldn't be a crazy fire risk, assuming we can get some decent precip. I saw a fair amount into the interior, so I feel good about that. We're not going to see anything crazy over the next couple of weeks. So in terms of fire behavior or fire development.
No, I don't think so either, and a lot of us crews are sitting. I mean, I'm doing the show right now, obviously, right? So season started off pretty hot, for sure. But when I say thunderstorm pattern, I mean, we've had past years, like 2019, there was a lot of thunderstorms in BC. A lot, and we did not have a lot of firework that year, right? So thunderstorm, it depends if they're high precipitation or low precipitation cells, obviously. So I'm kind of like looking from my mountain out, wondering like, when do we get done with these popcorns storms and start getting some strong thunderstorm development in the central?
Yeah, we call it, I mean, down here at least we refer to that as like what you'd call a cold core storm, which is like your pop-up thunderstorms and like a cool air mass trough, and then you have your warm core storms, which typically happen when you inject some instability, like high theta E, which theta E is potential equivalent potential energy or equivalent potential temperature. When you inject that, from the southwest monsoon, for instance, gets entrained into like a ridge and pulls it up into Western Canada, that's when you get what I refer to as warm core storms, which tend to be the more ferocious ones that tend to drop a lot more lightning because their tops are a lot higher, so you got better charge separation. You really need to get like negative 40 Celsius in the anvil to get good charge separation. So
yeah, get that
Yeah,
nice cold at
yeah.
the very top, but
And it's
the
just
real
tough to do
ground
that.
heating at the bottom too.
It's just tough to do that in a cold core situation because you really have a pretty small amount of cape, a pretty narrow what we call skinny cape, which if you look at the QT profile, it's like a pretty narrow area of buoyancy between temperature and basically the forecast temperature where you have that instability. So, but yeah, I mean, I think a pretty typical June pattern, especially for BC, as long as we don't see that ridge build enough that we could see some real heat in the BC. The risk is there, but at this point, I think things just get warm, but not crazy warm. So
Yeah, I like to call them popcorns because they just sort of bubble up and then they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, they're here and there, and they're hard to forecast for because they just kind of, they're everywhere. They kind of come and go, and so there's been a lot of that. It's not been like, this place, look out, you're gonna get hammered. You know, so I've been having to make a lot of these sort of like very vague predictions on weather watchers. You know, like, well, there's gonna be some popcorns throughout the province.
So I just want to say I'm gonna miss my boy Mark when he moves up to Canada, and you guys better be good to him because you know, I don't want him to come crying back, you know, to us.
Well, I'm sure I'll probably meet him in Winnipeg
promise
sometime. I'll have coffee
nothing.
with him. I'm definitely not I'm not gonna scare that guy away.
No, I was really into this, you know, because he's like, before anybody, he's like, I'm thinking about taking a job in Canada. And I'm like, escape while you can. Get out of America.
I tell him just to post on social media that he's leaving for Canada, whether or not Donald Trump gets reelected. So
yeah, I like what he said today. Him and I are chatting. He said, someone already asked him, like, what's your thought in the election? He says, I don't care. I'll be in Canada.
yeah, that's wild.
Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for stick around as long as you can. But I know you got.
We're gonna road trip it up there to see up there to Wells sometime. So.
Well, that's the thing. I'm really stoked on it. I'm really stoked on it.
Might not be this year though.
On the whole development, it's fantastic. It's great. It's really
all right,
great.
guys. Well, I got family in town, so I'm gonna spend some time with them. But it was good chatting and good getting on here.
Yeah, good to see you, man. You're great.
All right, guys.
Chris Calais, meteorologist Chris Calais down there in Portland. Imogen, we haven't talked to you in so long. How is things going? You had a big art farm party that's you've been working on. You got the other show, the quiz show. What's going on down there in Victoria, Imogen?
Just tied up with planning the art farm anniversary party. There's so much going into it, and it is going to be absolutely huge. It's bigger. We might run into problems with having that many people in that area. We're actually expecting a turnout of close to 5,000 people. So, yeah, I know how to party. So,
this is like something out of Wayne's World Part 2.
Oh yes, oh yes, and it will be most excellent. It, yeah, a lot of surprises for how things are going to play out that day. But other than that, we've had sort of hit and miss usual wet sponge weather here. A little bit of rain, a little bit of sun, a little bit of rain. So you go outside wearing your shorts, and then all of a sudden you're like getting soaked because there's like this sporadic downpour. And I had the weirdest experience driving downtown the other day. Nice and sunny, all things good. Then very quickly, I run into a tornado of birds. Someone had decided to throw bagels all over the road, just bags and bags of bagels. And so there were seagulls everywhere fighting over bagels. One had a half bagel, which is wielding like a sword, scaring away any other birds that tried to take its half bagel. There were easily 200 seagulls just flooding this whole little area. And it was a small area, just a mountain of bagels being eaten by birds, these big fat seagulls trying to lift these hefty bagels. And as I was passing through this, you have to drive slow because they're huge and they're everywhere. And so as I'm coming out of this, there was this just out of nowhere downpour, about 5 minutes of just heavy pouring rain, and it was back to sun. I'm not sure if I used a Ouija board wrong at some point to create that, but it was very unexpected, but at the same time, not a surprise, because that's what it's like here. This is a weird place.
Frankie, what would a tornado of seagulls sound like?
A lot of seagulls flying around.
What would it sound like? And stay tuned because we got the game of death with Brandon Hout coming up later. Speaking of making sound effects, okay, we still haven't talked to Hilding, Michael, or Karen, and Karen hasn't been on for so long that we have to talk to Karen first. That's what we're gonna do because Karen, up in Prince George, you're one of the moderators of Interior Weather Wilderness Watchers. That's the group we run on Facebook, and you've been having a hard time with your plants.
Yeah, because every single night I have to run out. Thank goodness I live so close to work that I have to come home and haul them in. Because all of a sudden it's sun, it's beautiful, and then we have rain squalls, hail squalls. Everything has to be brought in. I got caught out the other night. Seriously, I had to put a toque on and hoodie, everything. It was so bad. I was getting pelted on. I'm done
That
with
means
it.
if you see those white stuff coming from the cloud, that's hail shaft from severe thunderstorms.
Right? Right,
That's
Frankie?
hail
It's
shaft.
horrible. It's horrible.
If you see a hail shaft, you got to stay away from windows. Get inside and stay away from the windows immediately.
Well, I kind of don't. I have to go rescue my plants.
Yeah, it wasn't football sized hail that Karen's talking about. It's a little tiny
Little tiny,
hails.
but it's enough. It's enough to damage my plants.
Too much of a good thing, right? You've been like, "Where's the rain? Where's the rain? Where's the rain?"
And some thunderstorms have hail shaft up ahead. Means those things come from the clouds. And if you see far away from me, like those thunder clouds with that's hail shaft.
Well, I would tell you because like I told Brandon before, where I could clearly see coming down Highway 2 in Alberta, the hail shaft, and I was like, well, I think I'm going to go this way and avoid that. And then when I came back to Nanton a little while later, there was all these vehicles with smashed windows and people just going 120 down Highway 2.
That means
Ah!
that
Look
means
at the
windows
curtain.
broke.
I'm just going to drive into this curtain. Nothing can go wrong.
Hey, what about those 18-wheeler drivers? 18-wheeler drivers had to be pulled over because they got stuff in the back. Those 18-wheeler drivers got containers in the back of the 18-wheelers.
They do.
Down in Utah, in those places, they get 80-mile-per-hour speed limit on Interstate 15. They don't go by kilometers; they go by miles. There,
They go by miles per hour. What kind of plants do you grow
people
in
can
there,
go
Karen?
90 miles per hour on Interstate 15. People can go 90 miles per hour there.
You're pretty vague on what kind of plants these are.
I've been
Over
trying
over
to
in
grow.
Germany. Did you hear about the fastest highway in the world, the Autobahn? People can drive over 500 on the Autobahn.
I want a car that can do 500. Just saying, that would be incredibly cool to at least drive once. I don't think I'd do 500, but to know I could. That's the key. That's what's important.
I'd settle for a car worth 500.
That's on the Autobahn in Germany, the fastest highway on the planet.
Ooh.
I think the only theoretical car that could go that fast is Lamborghini.
And Bugatti.
Yeah, they probably could. What are you getting with football-sized hail? Who had football-sized hail today?
Somewhere in
Midland,
Texas, and Central
Texas.
States.
The NFL.
I sent a photo of it to the chat. They have football-sized hail. Someone was holding football-sized hail in their hand in Midland, Texas. It's huge. I was like shocked to see the hail that size. I've never seen hail larger than maybe a football or like baseball.
Oh, it was crazy looking, and it was shaped like a football too. That was the thing. It's like, is this real?
What happens
Yeah,
in the
that's
hail?
the thing with AI nowadays. It's really hard to tell what's real or not. So it's always good to go back and verify those things. But yeah, it was about that size. So there must have been massive updrafts in those storms.
What happens
Yeah.
if the hail size of the Earth?
You have to have winds pushing over 200 kilometers an hour, probably going up or better, right?
What about the hail size of the planet Jupiter?
Well, that's just
Hailstone the size of Jupiter, Frankie?
Yeah.
It's just a nice planet.
That would wreck Hilding's crops.
It would scare
That could destroy the planet.
Hilding, What would
What
you do if
about
you had
a
a hailstone the size of
1,000
Jupiter?
I think we'd expect to die if we saw something that big coming towards Earth.
You've been getting soaked, hey Hilding. You've been getting your hay fields are looking good, and this is great because I was telling my friends, Daryl and Steph, who I got my dog from, that I was like, it's gonna be a good hay year. It's gonna happen. I've been the one
Yeah, we
preaching
have-
rain for a while.
As we had in July last year when we started mowing hay. We have as much now as when we started. And we've got a whole month yet for it to grow. And it's moist and it's growing. You can watch it grow like some days you can watch it grow an inch. It's amazing.
You see it right
And
before
we
your
had a good one
eyes.
this week. Our pasture got enough growth in it. We were able to turn the cows out early, and we were sure happy because our water pump failed and we couldn't pump water to the water troughs. So we had to turn the cows out in pasture where they can drink from the creek.
Yeah, and that, and as long as they're eating lots of green hay too, they're getting a lot of water from that as well, right?
Well, yeah, the nice green grass, they get a lot of water from that.
Yeah, as opposed to eating the dry hay. Eating the dry hay.
Yeah.
What is, going back to Mike for a second, Mike, what is Manitoba's forecast looking like next week? I haven't told anybody this because I'm supposed to tell everybody this at the top of the show, but it's the 30th of May right now. We're recording Thursday, the 30th of May. So if you're hearing us talk about the weather, remember that if you're listening to us on Monday morning in Winnipeg, Mike, what's coming this week for weather in Manitoba?
I'm actually looking at the data right now, and Sunday, for those of you who are probably out at the lake at the cottage, may have had a thunderstorm. Some of the latest data is showing that there could be a squall line or line of thunderstorms go through Sunday evening in eastern Manitoba. I'll be at the White Shell on the weekend, so I might get hit with that. And then looking next week, I'm seeing highs actually a bit cooler than average in upper teens, lower 20s. I'm not really seeing any of the heat building in that's in Western Canada until later in the week, but I am seeing 70s and 72s for Tuesday, June 4th. On this is a GDPS I'm looking at. I saw spot weather earlier, and I don't think we're going to be getting any like significant heat, but I do see temperatures a bit more seasonable. It has been quite cool the last couple of days with our highs around 15 to about 20 degrees. Yesterday we got to 21 degrees. I'm seeing a flip in the pattern after June the 6th. And then there's also a chance of more unsettled weather. There's some troughing over the central US plains, and that may lead to a few rounds of thunderstorms in the northern plains and southern prairies. But for the most part, looks like a lot of the wet weather that we've had is likely going to stick around for the next 3 to 5 days. Maybe a couple of chances for thunderstorms, but I don't see any, those cool pools of thunderstorms you get with isolated days of rainfall. I don't see that happening. I see it just more like scattered showers and thunderstorms next few days. And today is actually kind of funny. I felt like we were in a mini tornado. The winds were blowing about 60 to 70 kilometers an hour. Thought we were going to get a tornado, but we ended up getting a line of thunderstorms move through in the morning. That was a lot of fun. And a couple of close lightning strikes. And then power out apparently was out north Winnipeg. Some tree branches fell over and knocked over some power lines. So yeah, it's been interesting weather week the last few days. And I think as we get into June and July, I'll probably see a lot more of that. I'm just kind of surprised the lack of heat. Last year at this point, we were already seeing highs of 25, 20 to about 30 degrees. So maybe with this upcoming heat wave that's coming later in the week, it might hit us. But yeah, if you're in Winnipeg, don't plan on seeing a risk for frost or anything like that next little while. And I've coordinated with Justin, and he says that he also does see signs of heat building in towards the end of next week and early next week. So that's pretty much all I have.
There we go. Is everybody ready for the guy? Frankie, you ready for the guy?
Yes, I'm ready.
Ready for the guy. All right. This week, the guy is eating raspberry pie.
Yes.
1 second. Okay, here we go. This week, the guy is eating raspberry pie and getting chased by elephants, and hopefully I can hear it because I sometimes can't hear Frankie's videos mysteriously. It's I don't know what it is. It's okay, well, stop staring at Frankie's crotch and we'll hit play.
Okay, guys, we're going to do a guy eating raspberry pies. Oh my god. Sounds like elephants are coming. Oh my god, the elephants are after me now. A lot of elephants are after me now. More elephants, they're after me now.
Frankie's getting chased all around for you radio listeners.
The elephants cannot stop chasing me.
They won't stop at all. They won't stop chasing him.
Even more elephants are after me now.
Try going that way again.
Those elephants cannot stop chasing me. The elephants won't stop chasing me now.
Are they gonna get away, Frankie?
The elephants are not stopping me chasing. There's a pack of elephants that are after me. The elephants, they won't stop chasing me.
The elephants can't stop chasing him at all.
The elephants finally got away. Thanks for watching, Frank Donald. Here's my winter 2024-2045 forecast in North America. Winter all across North America is going to bring much stormier than normal. It's going to bring a whole lot of nor'easters all across Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland, and Prince Edward Island, and Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey, and Connecticut, and Rhode Island, all the way down to Washington, D.C., all the way down to southeastern United States. It's going to bring one storm right after the other nor'easters. It's going to bring a lot of snow all across eastern United States and western United States, including Vancouver, British Columbia, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon. It's going to bring a whole lot of storms, and then Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, British Columbia, because of La Nina, the cold waters off the coast of Ecuador in the equatorial Pacific is going to cool down. That's going to trigger cold waters in the Pacific. It's going to bring a whole lot of storms all across Western Canada, like Vancouver, Victoria, Seattle, Portland. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in Wales, England, Ireland, Scotland, those places. Don't let your guard down. Keep your guard up. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow all across France, Germany, Spain, Netherlands, Portugal, Denmark, Bosnia, Romania. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in Norway, Finland, Sweden. It's going to bring a lot of snow in Japan, Tokyo, Japan, Kyoto, Japan, Osaka, Japan, Sapporo, Japan, Beijing, China, Wuhan, China, and all those regions. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in winter 2024-2025, including Siberia, Russia, like Yakutsk, Magadan, Norilsk, Chita, Irkutsk, Krasnoyarsk, and all those places. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow all across Moscow, Norway, Finland, Sweden, including Helsinki, also Norway, and all those places. So Trosmo, Norway, is going to bring a whole lot of snow. In Ontario and Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, is going to bring a whole lot of storms all across central United States, western United States as well. In the winter 2024-2025, I want every single person to be prepared. Don't let your guard down. Keep your guard up. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow all across eastern United States in the winter 2024-2025. Make sure you have your shovel, snow scoop, snow blowers, snow plows, salt trucks ready in advance. There could be big snow events in eastern United States in winter 2024-2025, including eastern United States, western United States, including Vancouver, British Columbia, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon. It's going to bring a lot of snow in Denver, Colorado, and all across North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Minnesota, including Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and all those places. Even Mexico's going to get snow too. Even in South Korea, it's going to get a lot of snow in the winter 2024-2025. It's going to bring a lot of snow in Turkey, Greece, Albania, and Serbia, and all these European countries as well. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in England, France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Italy, and Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, and all these countries as well. It's going to bring so much snow in eastern United States, and western United States, and central United States winter 2024, 2025 is going to bring a whole lot of snowstorms, rainstorms, freezing rain, mixed precipitation winter 2024, 2025 in eastern United States. Be extra prepared. It will continue in spring 2025. Be safe. Stay safe. Don't get caught in a lot of winter storms. Stay warm, be safe.
Looks like winter's already started there.
Okay, guys, we're going to do a guy try to eat 50 apple pies at once.
Yeah, eat it all. Get that in you, Frankie. I can't hear this one either. What's he eating this time?
Oh my God!
Strawberry pie.
Strawberry
oh my
pie.
God, there's a lot of coyotes after me now and foxes.
And now he's getting chased by squirrels.
There's more foxes and coyotes after me now. There's a whole pack of coyotes are after me now.
And he gets a hamburger in.
It's a
What is it?
strawberry pie.
Coyotes and foxes after me now.
Gets a strawberry pie in there between while being chased by squirrels.
Coyotes.
They won't stop
Coyotes.
chasing me.
I can't hear Frankie's videos for some reason. It's crazy.
So why are you talking over it, knowing that we can?
Even more coyotes are after me now. There's a whole pack of coyotes and foxes.
So
They won't stop chasing me.
Coyotes and foxes.
The coyotes and
Running
foxes
for his life.
finally got away. Thanks for watching Frank Out.
To our radio listeners, Frankie was just running for his life through a field being chased by coyotes and foxes after devouring a strawberry pie like an absolute pie-eating champion.
we do have time for a lightning round of Game of Death with Brandon Houck. I got a package
Yes.
here. I'm going to open this while Brandon talks about the Game of Death.
Game of Death. That's right. That's right. We've done this before. This is Hilding's favorite game, by the way. He's like a pro at this game, the Game of Death.
Someone's got to
Especially-
explain this game to me because I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, well, you'll figure it out. We've got this all under control, and I pick a sound, and you get to make them. We'll do it one by one, and whoever has the best sound wins. It's very, very easy. I should just call this Brandon's game of easiness here, but
And whoever has the worst sound has to die.
well, yes, so. And we'll let Joey be the judge here on making a
What's
stinger.
going on here? The oral history of
So-
punk rock, misfits and miscreants. Chris,
I'm gonna
Walter.
pick the sound. And this today, wild sound is going to be a fake snore. That's right.
That's the sound Brian Goebel's making in this picture right here.
That's right. He's making fake snoring noises. So, you know those fake snore noises that you make just to make an impression. It's like an impression, just something like that. So, you know what? I think
Just gonna mention, I forgot to say that there was a couple of weather stats that I forgot to mention during my segment. So
Unfortunately, we're playing the Game of Death.
okay,
yep, we are. And we'll let you start first there, Mike, with the first snore. Fake
You
snore.
volunteered.
Let's hear it. Mike.
Come on, Mike. Let's hear that snore.
That's very quiet snoring.
Yeah, we can't hear it, Mike. We know you snore louder than that.
that's what I got.
Well, that gets a buzzer, just so
That
you
was
know.
nothing.
All right,
Frankie,
Frankie.
Show us a snore, Frankie.
Fake snore. Oh.
You know what's going on is this is what's going on. Is the Zoom is somehow thinking it's music or background music and cutting the noise off. Because Frankie and Mike were both trying to make snore noises, I think, and we couldn't hear them.
You can hear them. Wow.
Who next, Brandon?
Frankie's still trying. All right.
Frankie, or
Well,
you
this is going swimmingly well. Well, you know what? I'm going to change it because we're
is there some weird
today.
in play here that does not acknowledge human snoring, that does not acknowledge a soft palate flapping around doing something weird?
So that's your snore noise, eh?
That's my snore noise.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
no one heard that either, right?
don't heard that either. Let's see. Here we go.
I can do a pig noise that sounds like a snore.
Well, that's
I
isn't
can
that what I
try.
just did? Something like that. You know? That's not okay. That's weird. Doesn't want to pick that up. Okay, we'll pick a different sound then. Because today is National Hole in My Bucket Day today, or hole in the bucket. So
What happens if no one can make the sound, Brandon? It's like you picked a sound that the program wouldn't allow.
Well, does whistling work? Let's see.
Can you hear that?
Somebody whistle.
Hold on.
Yeah, it was so.
Is anyone hearing that?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a recording of my cat snoring.
That is awesome.
He snores and he talks in his sleep.
Like,
There's a fake snore.
Yep.
That one
because I have
worked.
my settings and my audio settings set to not suppress background noise. That's what's going on.
Okay.
Okay.
If you have that suppressed background noise, it's always gonna think that snoring doesn't exist. It's like, of course, people are snoring through your show.
Yeah.
We'll just
Of
mute
course.
that.
What's really great about Morbo, like when the cat really gets going with his snoring, he gets into this routine where it's this long, prolonged. He is a little tiny cartoon, and he makes the little mew 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 sound. He talks in his sleep while snoring.
Oh, that's awesome.
I talk in my sleep. Trust me, I've heard conversations. My mom, I woken up some mornings. My mom, like, you were arguing in your sleep with your brothers. I'm like, seriously? I had an argument. I didn't even realize those things can happen. It happens at the craziest moments too.
Well, that is awesome. Now, Hilding, you got a different mic there. Do you think you can? That would work.
Building
yeah.
actually is sleeping right now. That's the funny part.
That's right. He is.
The punchline here is that Hilding does occasionally fall asleep during recording.
Hilding's like, no, I don't.
I'm
morning
gonna
to
try a fake snore.
milk the cows.
I'm not 100% perfect, but
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
The game of death.
There. That's all right, Frankie. You could try that again. See if we could hear Frankie this time. Oh.
Nah, he still hasn't changed his settings. There you go. You're gonna have to pick a different noise next week, there, Brandon. This was a total flop.
It was a total
That's
flop.
the funny part
what
about it, at least.
farting noises. Would it pick up farting noices?
It's
Well,
like, you know,
Probably
let's
not
see.
appropriate.
the funny part about this segment is just how bad it flopped. That's the comedy of it.
That's the funniest part. Yeah. How bad it flops. Sometimes it works. It's like dinosaur noises were fine weeks ago.
One thing I did notice though during this segment is that my oil's a little rich in my fuel mix there for the saw.
Oh yeah.
Smell it in the house.
Smell it.
Yeah, gonna be a bad night for you.
No. No, so I just I bought this 257 off of one of my neighbors this week, and it's a sweet little saw. I'm going to put a larger bar on it, and unfortunately, it doesn't have the ability. You can't put a full wrap handle on the thing, unfortunately. But I like it better than my falling saw. I think maybe.
Because Joey, I love you, but maybe next time, not inside the house.
Yeah, this is the best part about being an adult is I can do whatever I want. You know?
And after
Somebody used to always be like, "Take your boots off. Take your boots off when you come in the house." I'm like, "You built the house in the swamp." God.
That means
No
What
more
happens if
chainsaws
imagine-
in the house.
what happens to the bears roaming around the Prince George Bridge gonna be on the streets? What does that mean? They have to call the animal control. The police will tell people to stay indoors.
If it's wandering around wells, they call me.
What happens if what happens to the bears roaming around the streets in Vancouver? What does that mean?
If I'm not there
send
to
them
run a
to
chainsaw and scare it away, that's the one thing. If you have to chase a bear off, they find chainsaws pretty scary.
What happens to the bears roaming around the streets in Prince George? Then the police will tell people to stay indoors.
There is bears
I have
roaming around the
learned,
streets of Vancouver.
Frankie, from Joey to scare off the bears. I got some on my street. They're gone.
I heard a cool thing today, and I'm not trying to be like, "Yay, Joey," but I was talking to Angie at the district office, and she's like, a lot of people now have come forward and said Joey was right, and I was like, wow, you just never hear that. So unfortunately, our local bear did get destroyed.
What happened in Winnipeg too? They had to euthanize one in Wildwood Park a few weeks ago. It was loose in Wildwood Park.
It's not a common problem here in Wells. Generally the bears come down in the spring, they take off in the fall. We've had a few grizzlies in the past that had to be very encouraged to leave. They didn't want to go. They're like, "No, we're going to hang out in this valley." Like, "No, we're going to shoot you with rubber bullets."
That was funny. We had a black bear out by Bazzano.
Yeah, there's another thing you got to watch out for is coyotes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we get a lot of those.
They
in
won't hurt
Winnipeg.
you.
Get a lot of those in Winnipeg. Actually, they've said that a few times they had to get the police out because they were going after kids in the neighborhood. They had to lock down the neighborhoods because they're on the loose.
What happens to the bears on the loose in Winnipeg neighborhood? What does that mean?
I don't know. It's not like Winnipeg isn't dangerous enough as it is.
Yeah, you go downtown and you got literally
You might
fights
get
breaking out,
stabbed.
fights breaking out in broad daylight. That's how crazy Winnipeg can
You
be.
might get stabbed in broad daylight or eaten by a bear. Winnipeg. Whereas Vancouver, a bear just might try to take you home.
I take
Okay.
Vancouver. I would take Vancouver any day over
That
Winnipeg.
means that if you
Sounds
want to
like your
follow,
kind of bear, does it?
if you want to follow me on social media, my blue sky is at Frankie MacD. My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is Frankie MacD9 Frankie MacDonald 984. My Clapper is Frankie MacDonald 984. My Twitch is Frankie MacDonald 984. My Snapchat is Frankie MECD1. My YouTube channel stalks will say my link is Frankie MacDonald. Best luck, y'all, Frank. Don't you're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
Now, don't look now, Frankie, but there's a bear behind you.
I don't see any bears.
I told you
And
not to look yet.
You can follow me and Justin Ortel on the Weather Center in Manitoba. We post weather updates there regularly. I'm part of the team, so join us.
Okay, well, it's about 8 o'clock.
That's
He's
the
Showing
show.
Mark Engels what a Caesar looks like.
Pretty much that's the show, eh?
That's the show.
Okay, I think that's the show. So I'm not sure.
That's the show.
Not sure if everyone understands, but generally, once we say that, and we all agree that's the show, then that's the show. Like that. All
There you
right,
go.
That's the show.
that's the show, everybody. Okay, I gotta hit the stop here. By the way, that's the show. There you go. Frankie's gone.
Frankie's out.
Frankie's gone. That's Frankie. And I missed things that Mark was saying. He saw a CBC article this morning about conservative Canadians fleeing the United States, and I was like, yeah, that's the funny thing. And as far as I'm concerned, bye. And so the conservative Canadians fleeing the United States because they want to live in a conservative region, while liberals want to live in a liberal region. So they're moving. American liberals are moving to Canada. So this is how Canada will get better. I'm pretty sure. Just
Hopefully.
export the Trumpites out. Right? We forgot to talk about. Sun's coming back around. It's got that big spot on it there, and it could still potentially give us a Carrington-like event. In fact, rumor is we just missed a Carrington event last time around. You know what I'm talking about?
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, just missed
Yeah.
it. You know, some are saying in the world of science, that we kind of got lucky. That it threw out its angriest stuff when it wasn't exactly facing the Earth. So we got like still probably 2 years of solar maximum left, right?
Mm-hmm. Couple more months of summer.
Anyways,
There's a peacock missing in Brooks.
Sorry,
That's different.
that just made me laugh.
peacock missing in Brooks.
That
Here's some of
was
the
so random, Brandon. That was so random.
This here is some of the slideshow. This isn't really for public consumption, but I mean, the public isn't really watching what we're doing here. This is some of the slideshow for the S211 fire weather course. This would be my teaching tool that I'd have up.
I'm
on
gonna
the
head
board.
out, guys. Thanks so much for having me again.
Have a good week, Mike.
You too. On to the
Yeah,
White
man.
Shells, so that should be
That's
fun.
right. Go to Lac de Bonnet.
Star Lake, actually. North
Nice.
Vulcan Lake.
Yeah, it's nice country up there. That's where I grew up looks like that area. Like it's that same kind of Canadian Shield, that lower Shield.
That's
Very
a beautiful part of the
exposed.
country.
Very exposed rock. I just thought Brandon might get a kick out of this. This is some of the slideshow for the S211 fire weather course.
That's what
And,
you're teaching, Joey?
Pardon me?
That's what you're teaching?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of neat. You know, there's obviously a book that goes along with it. And you're supposed to read from as a teacher, right? But I like to look through each of these slides in my spare time and kind of just get an idea of like what would I talk about with this slide, and that's it's pretty basic stuff, and they tend to only show clouds that really generally make a difference in your weather watching day.
No, that's you know what? That's really good stuff, Joey.
Inversion, forecast terminology.
Yeah.
Surface pressure. I was hoping that this would be in there. I love this graphic. I think this is a really crucial graphic to understanding things in general, how warm air is propelled. I had this what I've been doing in my spare time is I've been watching this course from Yale University. There's a 35 lectures. I should send it to you, Brandon. You probably really like this because it's like math and it sucks. Like this isn't fun fucking weather learning, right?
Yeah.
This is what they're teaching at Yale, and but it's fascinating if you're one of us, weather nerds. And as I was listening to Dr. Ron Smith talk last night, and he was talking about warm air and how warm air rises, expands, and all the different properties of warm air, and something that really kind of stuck out in my mind. He didn't say this, but I was like, we always think of cold air, and this graphic does it too. We think of cold air and warm air as like these two separate things. Like the air is cold,
Mhm.
there's warm air and then there's cold air. But really what cold is the absence of warmth. It's not a separate thing. You know, if you're trying to imagine temperature, you know, it's like, so when I think of it that way, then I think of like the heating of the earth, the surface heating, you know, the surface temperature of, say, even this book, you know, what's the temperature of this book? It's probably like 20 degrees or something like that, right? Just to the surface temperature of that book, right? And it's like, and then as the sun warms things up, how does air expand and rise, blah, blah, blah. It's like, in order to have that really beautiful image in my mind, I really find that thinking about these two things as one thing and not two separate things really helps my imagination. You know, it's not cold air and warm air. It's air with the absence of warmth. It has not been warmed up. Does that make sense? I know that's kind of weird sounding, but
Oh yeah. I was just talking to Mark here, but yeah. Keep going.
fair enough. Fair enough. The absence of warmth. The absence of, you know, that's what's, you go into outer space and you take away the sun, you know, that's the temperature of things. Absolute zero is the temperature of things, right? If there was no heat.
Yeah.
Anyways, warm front, cold front. So yeah, I just find these are pretty neat. And it goes on and on, obviously. Talks about inversions. And I mean, so what's in the teaching course book is a little more obviously in depth. But I find that these are pretty neat slideshow.
Good, Joey.
Like that they provide the slideshow for you so that I don't have to look up any of these images. And, you know, it gives you kind of the whole rundown, all the basics that you need to know in order to be smart about, you know, here's a great example. This illustration, last year we were doing a back burn. And so say we're here, you know, where the Britannica where it is. And this is developing, and it's clearly developing. This storm is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the American hotshots we were working with, they're like asking, you know, what do we do? We got the storm coming, because we know that this is gonna blow out when the storm finally is ready, right? But I took a gamble. I was like, you know, I think this thing, it's sitting stationary, and it's gonna grow to its maximum potential, which means it's gonna take longer to grow than we think, which means we've got time. And while it was growing, it was sucking all this warm air in. So here's our back burn where the Britannica is, and it just sucked our burn right towards. And then finally, when these outflows came, poof, there was nothing left. It all burnt already. So it didn't cross our guard, you know. It was just like, so those are examples of just. So I'm looking forward to teaching.
You'll be good at it.
When things change, you know, this is the section that matters for the average firefighter, right? When things change. So that's the thing. You want to get through everything and then get to those final sections, right? Anyways, that's just something I've been poring over a little bit lately. I've got to teach a 4-hour course on this stuff, and I'll send you that link for that right now, Brandon, while I'm thinking about it. This
Okay.
email course, because it's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
email that to me too, so it'll probably get buried in my messenger.
Well,
All right,
no.
guys, thank you for having me tonight. I'm gonna
See you,
head off.
Brandon.
That
All right.
was a little bit huge for me tonight to come on.
Oh,
No,
that's
you
awesome.
did good, and you know what? We like you, so
Well, thank you.
you know, come back more.
I'm a little bit normal, I think.
You know, I get it, because like I have huge social anxiety, but for me it's like if I were to go to a concert and be in the middle of the crowd, that's really hard. But to be on the stage, that's easy. So I can't explain that.
No, yeah, for me, like to be on this is really hard for me, socially, anxiety wise, but I'm really glad I came on tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, and you do a good job with the weather group, so thanks. I don't thank the moderators enough, because it's like basically I don't do anything.
No,
You know,
we do it all.
pretty
Just
much.
saying.
Pretty much, right? You know, and that leaves me time to just only think about talking weather.
Well, yeah, because you know what? That's what we're here for, though, right? Like, just shut down those stupid comments like the conspiracy theories, everything else. That's
Yeah.
what they're for.
It's amazing how smooth functioning and polite Weather Watchers is with 18,000 people on it.
Right?
And that's
Like, I
because
think-
every time we get a shithead, we just fucking boot them.
Done. Gone. Like, it is actually amazing how functional that group is.
It's really rare, you know. It's really rare, you know. It's like if you had a
And
group that
we
was about
are-
sports or Star Wars or something, it'd just be like people hating each other all day long. But it's weather
No,
group.
in
Everyone's like,
in your group, Joey, we are like hammered down. We're like done, out, finished.
yeah, you don't get many
You're
second
done.
chances. I've occasionally booted someone by accident who was being sarcastic, and then this happened, and I immediately realized I booted the guy. And I was like, "Oops!" Like he was being sarcastic, and I had to like, write him and apologize. Like, guys, sorry, I just. So now he's a
Yeah,
moderator.
now fun. Yeah, no, it's a great group, and I'm really glad tonight I joined in this again. I've been out of it for a little bit, but it felt good to be back in it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it was fun night. Good to see everybody. I like when we have a lot of people. That's what makes it fun, right?
Makes it jive.
Sometimes it's like Frankie, Brandon, and I, and we can hold it for an hour, but
Oh yeah.
after a while, it's like, wow, this is.
We need a commercial break or two.
Yeah,
Like in radio.
Well,
PSA
Oh,
in,
we're gonna play a song here. Yeah.
You said you wanted more female voices, so I'm gonna try more.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I do, right? Like, and I'm obviously not good at that. I'm perpetually single, so it's like somebody other than me's got to talk to women and get them to come on our show. I don't know how to talk to humans. Period. Like, and it's obvious half the time.
Well, I wanted
It's
to sit outside tonight and with my phone and be on the Zoom, but you know what? Seriously, it was miserable. And I'm like, I'm not getting fucking rained on. Sit outside doing this report tonight.
Yeah.
Nope.
And you had to show off your 1986 Garfield toothpaste clock. This has been a long time since I've seen
saw
one of
that in the background? Shit.
I'm Generation X, I was like, I remember that Garfield clock. I remember that came out.
Oh my goodness, I did not even realize that.
So that's classic, man. I love that clock. That's legit. That's like a 30-year-old clock, man. It's like it classifies as an antique now.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm old.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there.
I did not even realize that one. Shit.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, look at you got one clock, and it's like look at my background. I'm like, holy shit! I didn't realize there was a severed head up there. Sorry, guys. But I like that severed head.
Probably with toothpaste.
Awesome. I'd love to see like 8 of these guys floating around, just like talking at me. That'd be awesome. That'd be my kind of acid trip.
And I have Garfield with toothpaste.
That's a legit clock. my like babysitter's daughter had that back in
Oh God. Thanks, Joey.
1986.
Now I'm old.
No,
Thank you.
you're like, aren't we like the same age?
Yeah, what's your age?
Okay, maybe not almost. I'm 45. We're not that far off, are we?
We are almost 10 years off.
Okay, well, you don't look it, so there you go.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
that. I'm an
see.
old soul.
I would have said 48. Hey, I don't know. I'm
Oh
nice,
shit, that's good. Thanks, Joey.
but I'm nice, so I wouldn't listen to anything I say. I'll say anything to make people happy. No, I'm kidding. Just, I guess that's the show for this week. If
Oh.
anybody's watching still, thanks for joining us. And this has been our little social circle that we get to enjoy.
Night, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you, Hilden. Good to see you, Hauk.
Good to see you all. Yes.
And now I sent you that, Brandon.
Yes.
Crack that open tonight.
Well, I gotta go to bed. I gotta be up at 3 a.m, you know. So
yeah, that's it.
I probably won't have time to crack it open, but
well, you don't listen to stuff. You don't
maybe
listen
when
to
I
stuff
get
while you're in
bored, if
bed?
I ever do. What's that?
You don't listen to stuff while you're in bed?
No,
I'll tell you about this kind of stuff. Honestly, you can't
dark.
listen to this.
Yeah,
You can't listen to this and relax. Like,
oh, yeah.
you know, this is
I'll
Ron Smith.
probably
He's
watch
like,
it. Maybe if we win both our games Friday and Saturday and win the cup, then I'll have Sunday off. But if not, then
and then you can sit there and look at advanced calculations for thermodynamics with Dr. Ron Smith. Yeah,
there you go.
It is. It's heady stuff. But I mean, once he gets through like the first maybe 8, they're really math heavy and really calculation heavy, and which is cool because you get to really see how everything's calculated.
Yeah.
But stuff that we don't necessarily need. But it's like I like knowing how it's. Anyways, it's good.
Hey,
good.
guys. Love you all. I'll join next week.
Sounds good, Karen. Okay, everybody.
Okay.
Toodle-oodle.